We just want to make sure the cameras are ready. The camera's ready? Well, after a brief recess, we are here now with our mayoral candidates. There is, just to remind everyone, there is a person here in a red shirt that has a timer. He will be timing you and will give you warnings of 10 seconds, 5 seconds, and then when to stop. Again, if you just come into the room, please shut off your cell phones so they do not make any noise and they don't interrupt anyone speaking. The rules are that each candidate will have a 1-minute opening statement. There will be 2 questions asked to the candidates. They have set 30 seconds to respond, and they will have a 2-minute closing statement. We will begin with Mr. Doug Gutro for your 1-minute opening statement.
At the podium?
No, you can stay there. You turn it on.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Doug Gutro, and I want to thank the Republican City Committee for inviting us here tonight and for sponsoring the first of what I hope will be many candidates' nights over the course of this election season. Many of you know me. I've served 14 years on the City Council and as president of my neighborhood association. The last 4 years I've served as City Councilor at large. Why am I running? I like Tom Koch, but over the last 18 months, clearly, in my opinion, the city's moved off track. On his watch, we've seen the collapse of the downtown. We've seen the loss of our community hospital. We've seen the loss of our ferry service. We've seen failures to disclose or repeal the federal flood maps, and we've seen a lack of emergency planning and absurd spending on snow that will have financial consequences for every taxpayer in this city, not just this year, but in years to come. As for development, we have development backwards here in the city of Quincy. It's not happening in downtown, but it's happening through a steady stream of variances for sore thumb projects that erode the impact on every neighborhood. Quincy is craving fresh leadership that values openness, fiscal responsibility, and accountability. I can bring that change. Thank you.
Thank you, Christine, and good evening, everybody. First of all, thank you for your past support. It's truly a privilege and honor to serve as the mayor of this great city. I look forward to the coming days and weeks of the deliberation discussion we will have, and I thank my opponents for their service to our great city as well. I took office in 2008 and brought this city through one of the most difficult fiscal times since the recession. We come out of this recession stronger. Our bond rating has been increased. This year alone, we're seeing $600 million in private investment, and we've seen over the last couple of years some $400 million of public investment. That's federal and state tax dollars, your dollars, being brought back here to Quincy. We have many challenges as an old city, largely infrastructure challenges, whether it's school buildings, 20 school buildings, and 53 city buildings. We have hundreds of miles of street, sidewalk, and pipe we're dealing with. We're doing intersections across the city. East Howard and Quincy Avenue, 100% cost paid for by the state. 75% of the cost down the street, East and West Squantum Streets and Hancock Street. 75% of it paid for by the state. We build relationships at every level of government with our state and federal officials, and we're moving the city forward. Our downtown is back on track, and I look forward to the discussion tonight. Thanks again for having me.
Thank you. Mrs. Mahoney.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you all for coming out. The future of our city is at stake, and that's why we have so many people running for so many offices in the city of Quincy. I'm here to tell you why I think we need a new direction in the city of Quincy. We have holes in our downtown, we have holes in our budget, and we pay a whole lot of taxes, and we're not getting a lot in return. The difference between me and the other candidates here, I work in the private sector. I have a degree in finance. I use it every single day. I do large, multi-million-dollar project management for companies. I have to show a return on their investment. We need to have that happen here in the city of Quincy. I also ran a small business for 15 years. Some of those years were here in the city of Quincy. We need small business to be here, and we need to be partners with those small businesses. I'm here today to tell you that Quincy needs to move in the right direction, and we need to do it together. So as much as I need your vote, we need a new leader who's willing to lead our city to a new day in the right direction, and I respectfully ask for your consideration for that vote on September 24th. I look forward to the discussion, and I thank you all for being here.
Mr. Phelan?
Thank you, everybody, for being here. You know, I got my pep talk tonight from my daughter, Carrie. She said, "Dad, you're being a little bit wimpy. You're kind of a little timid. You know, why don't you just say what you feel?" You know what I mean? So it's either I'm mellowing out a little bit over the years, or she's been watching Donald Trump. I'm not sure which. But, you know, why am I running for mayor? I love the city. One thing that hasn't changed is my passion for the city. And I'm gonna just say it like it is. We're spending money recklessly. We're wasting taxpayers' dollars on things that we don't need, and on the things that we do need, we're not managing properly. We're letting developers control the destiny of our city, instead of sitting across the table from them and having responsible development and making sure that our city can sustain it. The developers are getting the green light, we're getting stuck in red lights all over the city. And we're not investing in our school system. When I was the mayor, we increased the school budget on average 4.4% a year. This administration, 2.4%. As a product of the whole budget, we increased 31% the school budget. This year, we're down 15%. How do you have a strong city without a strong school system?
Your time is up.
I've done it before, I'll do it again with your help. Thank you.
Okay, so the first question for the mayoral candidates is, how can you help Quincy residents who are overburdened with real estate taxes?
First thing is, I already have. There was an exemption under the circuit breaker state that we did not take advantage of that would elevate the exemption for senior citizens, and I proposed that and the city council adopted that. Number two, the swap program for senior citizens is another option that we are not fully allowing seniors to participate in. Number three, we have no financial plan. We have no 5-year capital management plan. The decisions on capital budgets are episodic. We need some transparency in the financial management in the city of Quincy. There are cities and towns that are doing it, like Arlington, that lets you know every dollar that's spent and what department it goes to. It's time to bring that to Quincy.
Thank you. Mayor Koch.
Thank you, Christine. The city of Quincy does not tax at the levy limit. Every community around us taxes fully at the levy limit. We just saw Weymouth turn down a Proposition 2.5 override just to sustain services. We're providing outstanding services in the city. You get great value for dollars, and we are not taxing at the max. We're going to continue to see responsible, sustained growth. That new growth helps offset the need to increase the property tax. But the reality is state aid over the last 10 years has not kept pace when it used to provide additional funding to cities and towns. So there's further burden on the property tax. We continue to put forth, in my opinion, a great balance of dealing with our needs and old infrastructure, recognizing we have to pay for that. We have one of the lowest debt ratios in the state, and we're acting very responsibly with your finances.
Thank you. Mrs. Mahoney.
Well, I'm glad we brought up taxes. Like I said, I work in the private sector, so I know how hard it is to earn that money and how hard it is to give it back to our city when it's not managed. The mayor just mentioned excise levy tax, and we're not taxing to the limit. It's rather insulting as we stand here today because they are taxing, we are being taxed 25 to 30% higher since this mayor has taken office, and we have seen not a return on that investment. We have seen money wasted, projects mismanaged, and we have not had the opportunity to fulfill the dreams that this mayor and other administrations have had. We need somebody with business experience that knows how to manage projects and knows how to implement those ideas to see it through to fulfillment. When I'm your mayor, we won't only just manage our budget, we will be accountable for your money, and we will make sure we do implement those projects to fulfillment on budget and on time. Thank you.
Mr. Phelan.
What do you do for the overburdened taxpayer? You lower taxes, ladies and gentlemen. I did it 2 out of my 6 years in office. In fact, we had the lowest increase of any city in the state, with 2 exceptions, for my total 6 years in office, 0.84%. Since this mayor came into office, it's gone up almost 3 times that. Don't let anybody tell you you can't cut taxes. The taxes are the result of reckless spending on things we don't need. We can cut back. With your help, I can do it again. It's proven leadership that this city needs in the next 4 years, and I'm asking for your help. Thank you.
Back to the beginning. The next question is, what is your position on all the development going on in the city?
I think I said it in my opening. It feels like we as a city are growing by variance, not by design. And that's a mistake. We're eroding the character in the neighborhoods. If you go to every part of the city, whether it's North Quincy, West Quincy, South Quincy, Howes Neck, Squantum, you're seeing 10, 20, 30 unit apartment buildings being sandwiched in and going to the zoning board. This isn't planning. This isn't sustainable growth. And the one place that we want to grow and prosper in our downtown, we don't have a plan for downtown development. So we as a city need to look more holistically, more inclusively, with more public input, and get your voice in, protect our neighborhoods, and have a credible economic development plan. And I'll bring that.
Thank you. Mayor Koch?
The reality is the city of Quincy is very sought after for development because we're a great city and people recognize that. We've been cited by national surveys on top 100 cities to live and raise a family. That says something about our community. We have a zoning code. The city council approves that zoning code. We abide by that zoning code. We do have a plan, and we have a great plan for Quincy Center. The plan hasn't changed. The partners and the players have. We have 4 new developers at the table. If you've been in Hancock Street, you would see the steel coming out of the ground, creating new construction jobs and going to transform our center. We're the first administration to stick our necks out and take the risks necessary to move the city forward. And I'm proud of the progress we're making.
Mrs. Mahoney?
Once again, we're talking about development, smart development. We do have overdevelopment happening in the city of Quincy, but what we don't have is development for businesses. We don't see our commercial base coming back. What we have is a sleeper economy that's happening in Quincy. Development of condominiums, apartments that are overburdening our schools, overburdening our roads, overburdening our city. We just talked about the downtown and steel. That's not our steel, Mayor. That's Quincy Mutual steel. I have to tell you that you have changed the game. Bill brought the streetworks to us. Tom enacted it and Doug approved it. This plan is not a plan anymore. It's dead, and now we have to redevelop once again. We need a mayor who knows how to bring business into the city of Quincy, who knows how to go out and bring it in. I won't sit in my office waiting for businesses to come to us. I will go out and I will recruit, I will market the city of Quincy, and I will make it happen. I've been waiting 21 years, waiting and believing in the leadership that we've had, and we have had none. For 21 years, I've been paying taxes. It's time that we grow up in the city of Quincy and start managing our city correctly.
Mr. Phelan?
Development's not bad. We need to grow as a city. It is a desirable city. It's part of our future, but we need to manage developers. We need to be able to sit across the table from developers and be at the same level. The mayor references partners. Developers are a lot of things, but they are not your partners, and this mayor found that out with Streetworks. You know, the last time I was on stage at a candidates night with Mayor Koch, he said, you know, Mayor, when I won the last election, Streetworks came to me and they said they had hit a dead end with you. And I said, with all due respect, keep them at arm's length. Watch what you're doing with these folks. They're not your partners. And what happened? 8 years later, monumental mistake in our city's history. And we don't have a downtown that we can even walk down in safety. As your mayor, I'll make sure I'll sit across from development. We'll have planned development just like we did when I was in office.
Time is up.
Thank you.
time for closing statements from all the candidates. Mr. Phelan, you are the first.
Well, thank you all for being here. I love the city. What can I say? I love public service. I went to Holbrook. We lowered taxes in Holbrook. We put record amounts of money in the bank in Holbrook. Performed all kinds of infrastructure in Holbrook. Forged relationships. Settled union contracts. I loved it. I loved every part of the job. And I love the city of Quincy, though. That's my home. I grew up here, went through the Quincy school systems. You know, all 8 of our kids. We had 20 kids at North Quincy High School for 20 years running in my family. My wife, Tracy, is here. We raised our kids here in Quincy. And I want the type of city that our kids will want to grow up in, and I don't see it happening. Reckless spending, irresponsible tax increases, irresponsible development with no plan, and no investment in our most treasured of assets, our public schools and our public students. That's my vision for our city. With your help and your support on September 24th, I will lead this city. Thank you very much, and I ask for your vote.
Mrs. Mahoney?
Thank you, Bill. I want to thank the moderator tonight, Christine. I want to thank the GOP for inviting us. And again, want to thank everybody who came out here to listen to us. This is an important point in our city. We have a profound choice, a 4-year term. We have to elect somebody who we believe will bring our city in the right direction. You can either elect professional politicians who work for your vote every time they stand at this point, or elect somebody who's going to work for you and remember where your tax dollars come from. Somebody who actually knows, because I work in the private sector, I have to be accountable for every dollar I spend. I'll be accountable for every tax dollar you provide. We need to make sure that we're putting somebody in office who understands finances, that knows how to get the job done, that has the tenacity to work with people and bring the right businesses here to Quincy, who's a natural-born problem solver. As I said in the beginning, I need you just as much as the city of Quincy needs me. We need to move our city forward. I'm asking for you to believe in a new day, a new direction, a city that we can grow and be proud of once again, a city that we're not solving problems insularly, but we're actually bringing in solutions from outside, businesses from outside to help support our community and grow everything that we need to grow, from education to dropping your tax dollars, and that's what we need. I ask respectfully for one of your votes, just one, the one you need to cast on September 24th. It's the right vote. It's the vote for Ann Mahoney and the new day. Thank you very much.
Mayor Koch?
Thank you, and again, thank you for being here and for the opportunity to talk with you this evening. And again, I thank my opponents for their contribution to the debate and look forward to the coming weeks. For the last several years, you have seen incredible infrastructure improvements to the city. We've seen a new four-river bridge going up, the Ponce Bridge being rebuilt. We built Quincy High School on time and on budget. We got 80% the maximum reimbursement for New Central Middle School. We're in the planning stages of a new Sterling Middle School with 75 to 80% reimbursement expected. We're doing 5 school buildings this year, 70% reimbursement, all new doors and windows. This administration cares about education. We're recognized by the White House for our work on the opiate addiction issue that this city and every community in the Commonwealth is facing today. We've hit that issue head on. We brought partners together, people together, everybody to the table, working that issue to make a difference. We've added programming in our schools on that issue. We've added Narcan, we've added drug drop-off days, and we've doubled the size of the drug unit in our police department. We had added 10 police officers last year to our unit. We continue to work our infrastructure. We just received a $5 million federal grant for a new pump station in West Quincy. Neighborhoods that were ignored for decades by administrations, we are dealing with. We're paying attention to those long-played issues. You can't continue to kick the can down the road. As you know in your home, a small problem becomes a big problem if you don't deal with it. So we are meeting our challenges head on, and we're leveraging federal and state dollars in every opportunity we can. And I'm proud of the relationships we have built with our state agencies, with our governor, with our congressmen and state senators, state legislators, but also our U.S. senators and congressmen. They have been at the table with us working. We're rowing in the same direction, accomplishing a number of issues that we've been dealing with for many, many years. I'm proud of the record today. Our downtown is back on track. There is steel going up. Quincy Mutual's doing a great job. We are employing hundreds of construction jobs. The next phase starts at the corner of Clyden and Hancock Street in October, and more jobs will be added, and you're going to begin to see the transformation of the downtown. I appreciate the opportunity to be with you. I ask for your vote, and God bless you all.
Mr. Gutro?
Thank you. I too would like to thank you, Christine, and the Republican City Committee for hosting the first candidates night at the campaign. The city of Quincy is a great city. We're a great city. People come to the city of Quincy because of our history, because of our coastline, because of our neighborhoods, because of our proximity to Boston is extraordinary. The geographical asset that few communities have, and our public transportation. We are not a well-managed city. In my lifetime, I haven't seen 27 candidates running for public office. It's a sign of things to change. It's an opportunity for a new direction going forward. For those that don't know me, and some might not know me, I have degrees in business management and public management. I've served for 14 years on the city council, the only person here to do so. 10 years as a ward councilor. I used to say you could name a street, I could tell you somebody that lives there and what the issues are that matter to them. And that's the neighborhood know-how I would bring to the mayor's office. Over the last 4 years, I've served as councilor at large, and I saw the direction of the city was moving in the wrong direction. We need responsive, transparent, inclusive, accountable leadership here in the city. We need change. It's also not just about being a good manager, but it's about being a good leader. And you're a good leader before the crisis happens. We look at Streetworks and we blame Streetworks. We look at Stewart, the second biggest city in all of New England to lose a community hospital, and we blame Stewart. We look at the takeover of our housing authority, the most vulnerable people by the state, and we blame the housing authority. We look at the problems with the MBTA, and the chairman of the MBTA advisory board sits beside me. We look at those issues. This is about a moment. This is about leadership. This is about management. This is about opportunity. I submit to you that I have the experience, the education, and the understanding of municipal government to turn the city around. And I respectfully and humbly ask for your vote on September 24th. Thank you very much.
I want to thank everyone for attending the candidates forum tonight. I also want to thank the Best Western Inn and all the Quincy Republicans in the audience for all their volunteer, for all their help with this event. Good night.